Market volatility and retirement. Who's at risk? Annuities, emergency savings, and policy solutions. Retirement should be a time of comfort and security, but market volatility threatens to upend the financial stability of many retirees, especially those already facing systemic disadvantages. While some retirees navigate these fluctuations with relative ease, others are left scrambling to protect their hard-earned savings. This disparity isn't just about individual choices. It's rooted in deeper issues like limited financial education, historical wealth inequalities, and barriers to accessing tools like annuities. For instance, minimum investment requirements for annuities, as discussed on Smart Asset, can exclude those who don't have home equity. While some retirees navigate these fluctuations with relative ease, others are left scrambling to protect their hard-earned savings. But here's where it gets controversial. Are we doing enough to level the playing field, or are we inventing a mental health framework with steps to protect people's hard-earned savings? Increasing financial literacy, making annuities more accessible through employer plans, and offering them as default options could gradually address these disparities. For some retirees, converting a portion of their savings into immediate annuities might make sense, but only after carefully weighing personal financial goals, liquidity needs, and risk tolerance. And this is the part most people miss. Annuities aren't a one-size-fits-all solution, and their suitability varies widely depending on individual circumstances. 1. Target date funds, a missed opportunity for many. Older workers often lacked access to target date funds early in their careers, leaving them overexposed to market risks. Expanding access to these funds could be a game changer, but it requires bold action. Policymakers and employers must step up, whether by encouraging or mandating their inclusion in retirement plans, especially in workplace programs. Portable solutions that move with workers across jobs could also provide much-needed stability, particularly for those with frequent career changes. But here's the question. Are employers and policymakers willing to prioritize this? Or will it remain a low-hanging fruit left unpicked? 2. Emergency savings, the unsung hero of retirement security. Market volatility is just one piece of the puzzle. Early withdrawals from retirement accounts, often due to emergencies, pose a significant threat to long-term security. Integrating emergency savings buffers into retirement plans could be a lifeline, reducing the need to tap into retirement funds during crises. Recent studies like Plan Advisor, hence planadvisor.com, emergency savings linked less 401k loan use, stronger retirement outcomes, show this approach works. And the Secure 2.0 Act of 2022, Senate Finance Committee, the Finance Committee, and Fort Lauderdale, Kinawinkiting, critics at Phalange and leadership has already paved the way for private sector solutions, such as T-Rowe Price's pension-linked emergency accounts, investors T. Rowe Price, immediate savings, and arm's-length emergency fund. You never know the pay in annuities. But why aren't more employers adopting this solution, despite 71% of workers expressing interest in a 2025 EBRI survey of Brihidi Borokes Chunkt Metbaritis Thesarhiri Afelakam Kalafanor? And why aren't more employers adopting this despite 71% of workers interested in annuities? Combining intermediate savings buffers into retirement funds could be a lifeline. Now, let us tackle this controversial topic. Retirement community certainly taking note, or are the entire society dedicated to this? Others or employers really deserve a playing field in retirement. But the real question is playing devil's advocate or not? The data is just catching up with you. How do we partition the product and pay for the political visits? Ali Van Leitz, who was led by the Defense Savings Institute too. But how much is left to go? Target date funds, a missed opportunity for many. A discount or man at the pace at the Treb building and collecting equipment projects provide. Stuff like Let's start the conversation. 1 in 4 Americans over 50 delay retirement, rising costs, and shaky savings. The American retirement crisis. A quarter of those 50-plus forced to postpone their golden years. In a troubling trend that highlights America's growing retirement challenges, 25% of Americans age 50 and older are now pushing back their retirement plans. But here's what makes this situation particularly concerning. This isn't just about personal choice, it's about financial necessity. The primary culprits? Skyrocketing living costs and insufficient retirement savings are forcing many pre-retirees to remain in the workforce longer than they had planned. This trend is especially impacting Generation X, who are approaching retirement age during a period of unprecedented economic uncertainty. But here's where it gets interesting. This shift represents more than just individual financial struggles. It's reshaping our entire concept of retirement in modern America. Traditional notions of retiring at 65 are increasingly becoming outdated as more Americans find themselves needing to work well into their golden years. The situation raises some thought-provoking questions about our retirement system. While 401ks and Social Security form the backbone of American retirement planning, are these tools still adequate for today's economic realities? Some financial experts argue that we need a complete overhaul of how we approach retirement savings in America. And this is the part most people miss. Delaying retirement isn't just affecting older Americans. It's creating a ripple effect throughout the entire job market, potentially impacting career advancement opportunities for younger generations. What do you think? Is this trend of delayed retirement a temporary response to current economic conditions? Or are we witnessing a permanent shift in how Americans approach their golden years? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Are you or someone you know facing this dilemma? The retirement crisis. Why millions of Americans are struggling. The American dream of a comfortable retirement is slipping away for millions, as a recent LendingTree study reveals that the average retiree in the top 100 U.S. metro areas needs a staggering $71,407 a year before taxes to cover basic expenses. Yet, the average Social Security income in these areas is just $21,500, barely covering 30% of that amount. This gap between what retirees want and need and what they have is widening, and experts predict the problem will persist across generations. But here's where it gets controversial. Many Americans have turned to Social Security to support them in their later years. But experts agree that the program was never intended to bear the entire burden of retirement. So how did retirement become such a precarious prospect for today's Americans? According to financial experts, a major shift occurred when traditional pensions gave way to 401k plans and other self-funded savings options, transferring the responsibility and the risk of retirement planning from employers to individuals. With personal savings falling short and Social Security strained, experts predict that the coming decades may see more Americans working well into their senior years. But it's not too late to change course. Younger Americans can avoid a crisis by taking consistent, intentional steps now, such as contributing to tax-advantaged accounts, staying invested, and working with a financial advisor. However, for today's retirees and those just a few years away from retirement, the challenge is real. Whether through higher Social Security benefits, smarter financial education, or greater personal savings, experts say the system needs reform and Americans need a plan. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about saving more money, but also about making smarter financial decisions and being intentional with your money. So, what do you think? Should Social Security benefits be increased to help support retirees? Or should the focus be on improving financial education and encouraging greater personal savings? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.